welcome back to Monday Nights. It's the Galebest and St. Clark James GT3 Season 7, Round 7. On Brands Hatch, I'm JP. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Mr. Alex Goldschmidt once we resolve his little bit of techie issues here as well. And he will be right back very, very shortly. He's having a slight little problem here as well. Welcome in if you are sat at home. Welcome in if you are crazy. And yes, the Wookiee Wanderer, I would just say it's too hot. I've got to be honest. It's too hot. Nope, just not racing the rest of the season. Has she had the baby? That the reason. Dun, 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 dun. Let's pick up on the standings here as well as we're heading into the AMs. James Moore leading the way on 215 points at the moment here as well. Sean Clark, Daniel Paul, 152 respectively each. Chris Haynes on 149. Mike Waters, 147. Tim Waters, 102. Then Callum Mylan, Sergio Cabral, Joseph Lopez, Paul West, Shane Wells, Jay Rooney, Mark Wesley, Steve Trippier, and Terry Atkinson at the bottom end here. In the pros, Michael Gray leading the way on 190 points. He's ahead of Matty Hoyland, 156. Harry Hartley-Price on 138. And Harry Gaylor on 125. Then John McLuhan on 123. Then Peter Duke, Stephen Donnelly, Sam Berry, Harry Seven, Andy White, Ben Archer, Tim Reed, Wayne Douglas, Craig Corris, Jared Love, Connor Pink, Joseph Sparrow, Tim Cullimore in at the bottom end of this one. Then there's a few more at the bottom. Glenn Ablar, people who haven't really been here much this season. Jordan Crawford is one of them as well. It's not my first season, no. Just to let you know. Right, let's see if we got Mr. Goldschmidt in the booth with us. Do we have Alex with us now?
And can you hear me, Mr. Parfitt?
Oh, I always love the sultry tones of your voice. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Well, the biggest problem is that Discord wanted to upload 8 updates onto the app just as we went live, folks. So, technologia. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Connor Pink, first in the pros. No, you are not. I came second in AMS last season. You did, and then you got promoted. And since then, it's not been a great season. So, the Wookiee, that's the situation here as well. Callum Island's not racing either. There's only 18 drivers here today. I think that might have something to do with the 30-degree heat that we've been having in the blinking UK at the moment, Alex. I tell you what, I may have just eaten my little bit of a cheeky McDonald's, but I can guarantee by the end of this, I'm going to sweat this straight back out again.
Yes, because it's what was it? I think it was, who was it? The 2 guys from Upshift Esports aren't here tonight. Sergio Cabral's in Egypt, and James Moore is currently in Ireland.
Lovely.
So Sergio was saying, "Yeah, I'll be watching on my phone with a beer in hand, 36 degrees Celsius." Thank you, boys, for that.
I think I've got that in my office. To be honest, I think I've got that in my office as well.
Yeah. But I mean, penultimate stop on the whistle stop tour that we've had. We've still got Fuji next week to go, mate. I mean, it's been a pretty interesting season so far, but qualifying about 6 minutes and 20 to go here at the wonderful Brands Hatch GP circuit. Always a great one for GT3 racing, or any racing thereof.
I think you're right. I did GT3s around here this week as well. I had a go for the first time in ages. Let's just say it didn't go very well. I had a 12x before I got round the first lap. And it's not always, it wasn't all my fault. I have to be honest. In fact, I could probably guarantee that none of it was my fault because I'm started at the back out the way. But little did I know that people aren't managing to hold their brakes, do we say. That doesn't involve coming back across the track after Graham Hill. So there we go. On that, a good one, Eva. I'm here in full support of Paul West tonight, says Connor Pink, you chicken. Has she had that baby? No, not yet. I've had a terrible... You have it a bit. Not a big fan of the track, so taking the day off, says Callum. I'm Sam Berry's spotter, so let's go fresh rubber. But there as well as Jared Love sits at the top with Peter Duke from both boys from DC here.
Yeah, Mustang and Acura leading the way. Michael Gray, of course, he could be on the cusp. Let's put it this way, that not too far from being away from getting the title in his hands. I mean, James Moore, he's got a big enough advantage anyway at this point. So, yeah, it's all good. But with just under 5 minutes to go, let's give you a rundown of who's where in terms of Pro and AM. So, Jared Love, the number 10 DC Motorsport Mustang, coming through up Pilgrim's Rise on the run up to Druids, is 4.5 tenths quicker than his nearest competitor, Peter Duke, in the 177 Acura NSX. Sam Berry, aka Mr. Fresh Rubber, rounds out the top three. Top three covered by 5.5 tenths of a second. Then it's Sean Clark who's leading the AMs at the moment down in 11th. Best effort from him and then he's fractionally ahead of Mike Walters. Joseph Lopez, our resident Dachshund lover, obviously with his two dogs, one on the side of the car, one on the hood, rounds out the top three. Joseph had a really good run in the Only Hands GR86 races last night at Monza Historic, and my God, were they something quite interesting to behold. Nothing going wrong on as I say that is Harry Hartley-Price that has just gone off. He's currently P4, so Porsche doing Porsche things again at JP.
Oh, dude, should have seen earlier. Man, I did an Aussie GT3 at the bend. First time there. Let's just say the Porsche does not like that circuit. It literally killed second place on the final lap of the final corner. And it's gone round there 12 times. It was absolutely bonkers, mate. Absolutely bonkers. Yeah, the Porsche did not love the bend whatsoever. So, yeah, for anybody in the Porsche, as we know, right, you do the same thing for 10 laps, Alex, and then on lap 11, it just wants to kill you. So, you know, it is what it is with the Porsche here as well. But we've got two Mustangs at the top. Darren Love and St. Barry coming into the last 2.5 minutes here as well. 45 minutes race. Could be an exciting one.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that Michael Gray, I mean, who has turned a couple of laps in the Corvette, hasn't been as quick as we've seen him. I mean, you know, you look at his stats this season: 5 pole positions, 5 podiums. That includes 4 wins, but obviously there was the big DNF for him at Spa. He's only managed 1:26.3. But there is still an opportunity for him to take a significant amount of points that will put him one step away from the Season 7 Pro title, of course. Next week, we've also got the season finale at Fuji, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Connor, who's talking at that moment in time that static's happening, dude? Just so I know here as well, let me know who is talking at the moment that static's happening. That would be absolutely great. Yeah, Brands Hatch, Fuji, I think both are going to be exciting. Fuji, I'm not a lover of. I think it's too blinking long to be mainly on. But, you know, I'd be interested to see how these guys get on and who's going to be back here as well. It makes you wonder. Sergio Cabral, good luck to everybody. Upshift won't be making an appearance as we're both on holiday, but I'll be watching everyone. Dude, like, you're on holiday. Bugger off. Go to the bar. Go and, you know,
Sink a few pints.
Yeah, take a walk down the beach.
With a bit of a hangover in the morning.
Yeah, wake up somewhere and wonder how you got there. I don't know. I don't really care. What are you doing watching this broadcast? Even when I go away, I don't watch anything. Literally, I'm on holiday or I'm away.
I mean, like I've got a couple of couple of trips where I'm actually doing back-to-back weekends in Europe, so I'm actually going to be staying overseas. And so the first thing that I will be doing is that my laptop will be closed, my iPad will be closed, they'll both be switched off, my phone will be on silent, and possibly with muted notifications for 3 to 4 days. So if you are on holiday,
get off. What are you doing?
Get off your phones.
Yeah, you're bonkers.
Enjoy life.
You're absolutely off your head, gentlemen. You're on holiday. Leave us alone.
Oh, that was Jared Love going off, and he's smacked the barriers.
Yeah, he definitely has that.
Oh dear.
Poor old Jared.
That was definitely a Code Brown clean-up on aisle 3 on the run down to Graham Hill Bend. I mean, he lost it coming out of Druids, and yeah, the car just went exit stage right. There is going to be a lot going on here at Brands Hatch. Of course, this circuit variation has been in use for just over 2 decades, since 2003. 9 turns, 2.4 miles. Circuit first opened back in, Paul Thompson saying, Jared's been slamming the pints and he isn't even on holiday. Sheesh.
Nice. Good job. Not that I promote drink driving on the JPB YouTube channel, but it's too blinking hot, so fair play to him.
but we are at the 15-minute end of this qualifying session. It's going to be a 45-minute race, rolling start. So that 2x2 side-by-side going into Brabham Straight and then into Paddock Hill Bend. That's going to be hairy, to say the very, very least. Of course, this circuit has hosted the likes of the British Touring Car Championship, British GT Championship, British Truck Racing Association. I remember being here when they do like the truck racing, and it's on bonfire night weekend. So you get all the fireworks and the bonfires and the truck parade. Yeah, those trucks are not easy to stop going down Graham Hill Bend. I can tell you that much from experience. But Peter Duke and John McLuhan are the only two drivers out on the circuit. I would say that the session's going to time out very shortly as Peter Duke's making his way down Pilgrim's Drop and into Hawthorns. So could time out very, very quickly here. So more to the point, Peter Duke has just gone purple in the middle sector, sector 3 out of 6 here at Brands Hatch, as he's going to make his way through Dingledale and Sheens, then into Stirlings. And then it'll be the run into Clearways and then Clark Curve before hammering it down the Brabham Straight. Of course, Peter Duke has had one pole position, I think, so far this season. Let's have a look. He's had one pole position, 2 podiums as he aborts the lap, and that is going to put Jared Love on his pole position for the first time this season. And what's more, it's a Mustang. 1, 2. Oh, this is going to be interesting here. But here's your grid for the 45-minute race here for round 7 of the Galebest and Clark St. James GT3 Championship. Jared Love versus Sam Berry on the front row, with Peter Duke and Harry Hartley-Price row 2. Ben Altria and Stephen Donnelly row 3, with John McLuhan and Craig Corish row 4. Sean Clark, highest qualified AM, in 9th. He'll be joined by Tim Reed in the 155 BMW on the outside of row 5. Mike Walters and Rob McKee will be rounding out row number 6. Row 7, Daniel Bull and Joseph Lopez in the Porsche and the McLaren. Then it's going to be Paul West and Tim Walters. Christopher Haynes in 17th. And Michael Gray did set a lap time, considerable amount lower than everybody else. We are just waiting for Rob McKee and Michael Gray, I think, to ready up on the grid. Michael does not necessarily have to run this race, but it could put him in the clutches. We've got no Matt Hoyland. We've got no Harry Gaylor here this week either. So this could be the strategy that Michael might decide, well, I'm going to sit out this race. Or he might start from pit lane. Rob McKee is also very close to having to start from pit lane because it's been a minute and a half since we've started to get the grid settled. But we are going to go on a full 2.4 mile lap. As you can see that we've got the pace car there, haven't we, JP?
We have. We're going all the way round. All the way round. So there you go. Might be at my end. Let me refresh. No, where's it out there as well? No static from my side for what it's worth. Thanks, Paul. Much appreciated. Wicked Wanderer. Do you hear static? Let's go, Fresh Rubber. He says there as well. Connor, you could have learned a lesson that. You wouldn't put yourself in trouble. Wiki Wanderer. I'm twisted. Hola.
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 Buenos dias. Dos cervezas, por favor. Especially if your name is Sergio Cabral.
Yeah, we've got lots of people giving Connor advice at the moment as well. Poor old Soph is literally on the verge of dropping. And
well, actually, it was due today.
Yeah, due today
because
can you imagine her in this 30-degree heat, mate? She is going to be one grumpy mare. I'm pregnant. Leave me alone.
Connor, ice now.
Yeah, be like a scene out The Exorcist.
Don't start with that. Poor old Sophie. But yeah, I mean, Connor did him in yesterday evening's broadcast. He is going to be watching. He won't be back for a couple of seasons, but he's going to enjoy watching along with the rest of us here. So it is going to be an all Mustang front row. So fresh off the back of 3 back-to-back 24-hour endurance races. So we've had the 24 Hours of Le Mans, 24 Hours of Nürburgring this past weekend, the Crown Strike 24 Hours of Spa-Francorchamps. And for those that love their GT3 racing. Like us here at JPB, we can't get enough of it. So it is going to be the run through into Dingledale and into Sheen Curve, and then it's going to be the case that the Mustang pace car will pull away, and it'll be the two ponies at the front end of the field. Jared Love and Sam Berry are your front row, and then it's the next up, it's going to be Peter Duke in P3, Harry Hartley-Price in the Porsche on the outside of the second row as we get ready and set for racing action here in the Garden of England at the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit for 45 minutes. Pace car pulls away. It's down to Love and Berry to control the pace as they come through Clark Curve. Then it will be time very shortly to accelerate on the Brabham Straight. Love has already gone, so has Duke. The red lights are on, and with Jarrett Love at full velocity into Paddock Hill Bend, we're lights out and underway. And a good start by the two from DC Motorsport. Oh, that's Sean McLuhan round in the background at Paddock Hill Bend. But it is a DC Motorsport 1-2 with Love leading Duke. Hartley-Price trying to go up the inside. Sam Berry wide at Druids. That's going to allow Ben Altria, I think, in the 504 to get through. Oh, no, he's off. Backwards is Ben Altria off at Graham Hill Bend. It kind of reminds me of Roberto Merri's exit stage straight on when he raced for Mercedes back in DTM after contact with Timo Glock back in those days. We're talking the early 2010s. But look at this, the Acura has really got the legs. Hartley-Price is also closing in. But a few dramas in the opening few corners here, JP. But the top three at the moment, well, Berry has dropped a bit of a clanger going through Druids.
Oh,
Duke! Peter Duke! And that was at Westfield, and he's hard into the barriers. Back end rearranged on the Acura. That's going to need a quick fix.
Yeah, gone for Peter Duke there. Rear ends off. You see up the old Acura skirt at the moment. That is the end of that one. There's been some dramas all the way through. To be blatantly honest, as you said, John McLuhan went off right at the beginning here as well. So poor old John on that one has gone off. Jared Love still leading the way. Harry Hartley-Price tucked in. 2-second gap. 3-second gap. Oh, Duke. You've got no rear end, buddy. You've got less of a rear end now.
And what's more, he should have dived into pit lane. He's going to have
unsafe pit entry.
Well, yeah, that car. We're going to have a look at the replay here on the start. So Jean McLuhan, I think that was with one of the Haribo cars to the outside. A little bit of contact between the pair. Spins the Porsche around, and Jean McLuhan backwards into the barriers. He loses his rear wing. So, all dramas for our good friend, the Daxon lover, Joseph Lopez. He's dropped down to 15th as there you see Paul West in the McLaren taking a shortcut through Paddock Hill Bend as Jean McLuhan recovers. But this is when Ben Altria went harrowing off at great breakneck speed. Oh, there's going to be a touch between him and Berry. Oh, right front to left rear. And Altria finds himself backwards onto the grass. Make sure that Jonathan Palmer doesn't send you an invoice in the post, my good man.
Yeah, this is Joseph Lopez's drama. There has been a lot more. Ooh, on the curve, spin it up. Try and keep it on the brakes. Can't hit the wall. Bang. Bish, bash, bosh. Thank you very much. Take care. Peter Duke in pit lane. John McLuhan at the back end of the field. Joseph Lopez at the back of the field. Chasing down Stephen Donnelly, who, of course, had his own little drama here as well. So the bottom four of your timing tower have all been involved in some form of dramas. This is whether or not this is going to be any contact in. I don't know how. Oh, he goes round. Anyway, I think he was trying to hold on. But that's how you take your brakes and get out of the way, just to let you all know.
And flat spot your tyres at the same time.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, Tim Reed has got through on Sean Clark for 6th position. Meantime, Michael Gray in the Full Tilt Motorsport Chevy Corvette C8 is now up 13 spots. He's doing a top gear from the rear. Is our man in the Corvette. He's now currently up to P5 and chasing down Sam Berry, who is currently now back in 4th position, and chasing down Craig Corish in the 113 Porsche that started 8th, now runs P3 behind Harry Hartley-Price, but it is Jared Love, the man who nearly took an overall race victory last season until the dying moments of one of the latter races. I think it might have been one of the American rounds, but he has now finally he's not had the best of seasons, let's be completely honest, in the pro class. But, again, it's been progressive. And that's what we see here in the Galebest and Clark St. James GT3 Championship, is that drivers progress. Jared Love came out of the blocks flying last season as an AM driver. Got promoted to pro, struggled. Now, at the tail end of the championship, we've still got Fuji to go next week, and it is the best 7 out of 8 rounds. So I'm sure that Jared Love would love to pick up a victory before the end of the season. Michael Gray, new fastest lap, 1:22.209, and he was nearly 6/10 quicker than the Mustang of Mr. Fresh Rubber himself, Sam Berry, in front of him.
Yeah, Sam Berry's trying to get past the Porsche of Craig Corrish, of course, as well. Paul, you've literally hit the nail on the head. Not, of course, you want to be mid-pack for the opening lap. No, Hail Mary, you do not. That is one of the worst places to be here at Brands Hatch. It is not good. You either want to be on pole or be last. Don't be in the mid-pack because it will go wrong. Sam Berry looking now in through the right-hander, dropping down the hill. We go. Is he going to be able to get this? Not here. He's got a point shoot at the blind tree and hope for the best. Just about there, the right-hand corner. Now he points at the apex, holds it on the inside, coming hard on the brakes. Got to go left here. Does take a left turn. Gets it through as well. Great job from Sam Berry, but still not getting any closer to Craig Corrish.
No, battle between Tim Reed, Sean Clark and Daniel Paul. Now, Sean Clark and Daniel Paul, at this moment of time, are level on points in the AM classification. James Moore is leading on 215, but Sean Clark and Daniel Paul want to close that gap as much as possible. And if I remember correctly, it's 40 points for a win. So Sean Clark takes a victory like he did last time out at Daytona in the AM classification. He will be on 192 points. That'll put him 23 away from James Moore. So both Clark and Paul, they have got to really, they'll be able to close that gap. But then it is going to be an all-out fight for the AM title. It will go down to the last round of the season. Drama's there for Rob McKee in the DXT Cyan BMW. That is going to be coming down from Druids. Going to turn it into Graham Hill Bend.
Fast.
And, yeah, back end steps out on him. Yeah, too much speed carried through there.
Fast, way too quick on that one. Here comes Mr. Gray. Yes, Mr. Gray is here. Wasn't that name used in a film as well?
Mr. Gray. Oh!
Off the track he goes.
Deary, deary me.
Yeah,
Michael nearly had a coat.
Never mind.
Probably like Reservoir Dogs or something like that. Well, you had Mr. Brown, Mr. Pink, Mr. White. Possibly. Or no, 50 Shades of Grey is probably what you're thinking of.
Oh, yes. That is right.
Mm-hmm. But we're not going to talk about that film.
No.
I don't mind talking about Reservoir Dogs, but I'm not going to talk about something like... Oh, right. Change for third, though. Sam Berry through on Craig Corrish. So things are really heating up at the sharp end of the field. Harry Hartley-Price, I have to give him credit. Now, here is the move. It's going to be up the run through Pilgrim's Rise. And Berry on the flashes.
Put him off, bro. Put him off by flashing. Even that Craig Corrish just didn't mean to run it in. He did there as well. It's a bit weird that I'm thinking about 50 Shades in the middle of a broadcast there. So I don't know what that was about. But there we go. Moving on. Onwards and upwards we go, gentlemen.
Indeed. Well, Peter Duke was in the pits for nearly 1 minute and 40 seconds, having rearranged the back end of his Acura NSX twice in rapid succession. But, yeah, Michael Gray, he has been the most successful. Oh, Craig Corrish. That is off at Sterling's and backwards. I think that car's probably had a bit of a biff at the back end. Because that was a big rate of speed where he came off at Sterling's. Kind of reminds me of Danny Juncker-Daya's big old... Yeah, that car's crabbing like a big one. So here we go. He's chasing down Sam Berry. So they go through out of Sheen's. Third gear. Oh, just...
that's a
the back end swaps.
Yeah, Porsche doing Porsche things there. Prime example, ladies and gentlemen. There was no reason for it to do that. It was under braking. It wasn't under duress. Don't think he hit the grass.
No, he didn't hit the grass, but I think maybe because there's a little bit of a camber. You can see that car's crabbing like a good one. Paul West, the 33 McLaren, has also gone off track. So we are finding in the first 10 minutes of this 45-minute adventure here at Brands Hatch that things are not as quite easy as they seem. And as we both know, JP, with this circuit, it's an old school track. So proximity to barriers, proximity to gravel, grass, and big ouches. We've seen quite a few of them already in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, we definitely have. There's a couple of people who are going to have to try and make recovery through, the likes of Corish, the likes of Duke, Lopez, John McLuhan, all been in their own little bit of a drama. Not Sean Clark, though. He's just running, unfortunately, down there. Rob McKee's had his own moment. Paul West also had his own drama as well in that monster-coloured liveried McLaren. Christopher Haynes is having a go now with Tim Walters, who is appearing with me tomorrow on the virtual track. Me and Mr. Tim will be having a chat in the evening as well, so look out for that one on Spotify as well. The guy's got, you don't want to know half of what this man's been up to. He's messaging me history that he's absolutely bonkers. So if you don't want to miss all of what goes on with Mr. Walters, well, tune in but on the virtual track on Spotify. We'll be live probably tomorrow or Wednesday.
So we are down to the last 34.5 minutes of this race here. You can see there's a little bit of damage to the front end of Tim Walters' Porsche 992 GT3R as Sam Berry being handed by Mr. Full Tilt Motorsports himself. Michael Gray, very, very close between the pair of them as they go through into Sheen Curve. Now it's going to be the hard on the brakes, fourth gear. They'll be going down to third in this case for the Corvette. You can see the run of speed that Michael Gray gets out of Sterling's. Now it's underneath the Yokohama Bridge down at Clearways into Clark Curve, and then it's just really trying to balance that nice bit of steering input along with throttle modulation as we go across the line. We are now on lap 9 in this race. It's Michael Gray starting to try and close in on Sam Berry. Last time around he took about half a second out of him. Tim Reed and Ben Altria, they are battling away now over 5th and 6th position. Other battles up and down the order. Tim Walters versus Chris Haynes in Rexy. And then we got Paul West versus Rob McKee. It's for 12th overall, but here goes Walters. Haynes in Rexy to the inside. Walters to the outside. Porsche v Porsche. Haynes to the inside of Druids. Neat and nice by Rexy as you like.
Yeah, unfortunately, Walters couldn't quite get the cutback either. He sent it in deep, angled up for the cutback. Couldn't get on the power quick enough in that Porsche. So Chris Haynes does make his way through. That's 4th in the AMS for Mr. Haynes here as well. So a good job from him. Tim Reed is having a go here with Ben Altria. Altria's in behind him. Reed's got to spin up on that BMW. Altria's going to go through. Reed took a avoidative action after getting spun up. And then now we've got this Sam Berry, Michael Gray. I think it's only going to be, I don't think it's going to be a matter of if. I think Gray will get him very, very shortly. Berry's going to try and defend as much as his life depended on it, Alex, but I can't really see it making a big difference.
I think it's going to be more the run out of Surtees going into Pilgrim's Drop that Gray's going to have the advantage, because when you come out of Surtees, you're up the gearbox, you're accelerating, you're going to get that really, really good slipstream, because down through here, Graham Hill Bend, then you've got the short shoot up the Cooper Straight into the left-hander at Surtees. So it's now about how Gray tees Berry up, and they're going to be, what, about a car length between them as fresh rubber mounts the curb on the inside of Surtees. That's a good run there from Michael Gray. Now, he's going to be beneficial if Berry decides to pull to the outside of the corner. That's going to open up for Gray, but Gray is going to keep him guessing at the moment as to when he's going to strike. There in front is Harry Hartley-Price. Gray's just showing his nose to Sam Berry, saying, "Hello, Cooey, remember me? I'm catching you." So it's giving Berry the hurry up, so to speak, as they go through into Sterling's third gear. Now accelerate out of the corner, down into Clearways. Once again, this is where Gray's just really using his nous, using his common sense and racecraft just to try and see what he can do to get the jump on Price. I mean, the Mustang's got the run on the Corvette coming down the start-finish straight, but it's when you go through the corners, when you go through the twisty stuff, of course, the Corvette mid-engine, rear-wheel drive. The Mustang, front-engine, rear-wheel drive. And again, look how deep Gray is able to, how much deeper Gray is able to brake in comparison with Berry. Now into Graham Hill Bend. Now you can sense that that sort of air of urgency around Michael Gray. He now knows that he's got to get through on Sam Berry very, very quickly. Here could be the chance to do it, but that depends on where Berry places his car down here into Pilgrim's Drop and then going into Hawthorns.
Yeah, it's imperative at the moment. The thing is for Berry, he can situate that machine in the middle of the racetrack, and there is nothing that Michael Gray can do. Coming up through here, through the right-hander as well. Nothing he can do through Sheens. Nothing he's going to be able to do through Sterling. He's down from here, down through Clearways and Clark, and onto the Brabham Straight where Gray might be able to make that move. Other than that, the rest of this racetrack is all Sam Berry's. That's it.
Yeah.
It's literally from here onwards now. If you don't get him here, if Sam puts his car in the right place on the run through paddock down to Pilgrim, he's going to manage to hold on to the position. If he does it on the way through Graham Hill, same thing. So literally at this moment in time, it's all on Sam Berry's position of the car.
Yeah, also dramas for both Tim Walters and Christopher Haynes. They've dropped down the order significantly as Gray once again this time tries to go round the outside at Druids. That is very, very brave to attempt that. And now they're going to be about half a car length apart, going down the Cooper Straight into Surtees once again. And it's going to be Berry, as you said, JP, with regards to his positioning. He's able to, because he's got the right of way on the circuit. Michael Gray can't, he's got to sort of be a bit more creative with how he gets his elbows out.
Absolutely. I think that's the thing here. Michael Gray's got to play a lot of part in this. This is the way I'm going to put it, and it should make sense to you all if you're all racer drivers. Sam is in control of Michael. He wants to put Michael where he needs Michael. Sam cannot afford for Michael to dictate where he goes. He has to dictate to Michael Gray which way he wants him. So if he wants him on the outside going in through Paddock Hill, he's got to take the inside or come off the line a bit. If he wants him on the outside going through Druids, he's got to take the inside line. Same, coming the other way. If he wants him on the outside of Graham Hill, take the inside line. It all has to be on Sam Berry dictating where Michael Gray goes. Because as soon as Michael gets the upper hand, he'll get past him.
Right, well, we are hitting 17 minutes of this race completed. So we're about 5.5 minutes away from half-time here at Brands Hatch for round 7 of the Galebest and Clark St. James GT3 Championship in partnership with Tanso Racing Group. At the moment, Jared Love leading the field on lap 13. Harry Hartley-Price in second, 5.1 seconds adrift, with Sam Berry and Michael Gray, as you see here, are two protagonists battling over the final step in the top 3 in the Pro class. Update on AMS. Daniel Paul from Flatline Racing in the number 82 Porsche is leading the class ahead of Son of a Bro Racing's Mike Walters in the number 84 Acura. Of course, Mike having picked up a win earlier on this season. Paul West in the Monster Energy McLaren, number 33, rounding out the top 12 at the moment, rounds out P3 in AMS. But this battle here is really starting to get rather interesting. Good mention by Connor Pink saying great defence off of Sam. And that's exactly right. He's doing exactly what he needs to do. But you can see now that the gap between Sam Berry and Harry Hartley-Price is closing on in, because Sam Berry on that previous tour...
Michael Gray's going to dictate. Gray's going to dictate.
Oh, he's going to go up the inside. Through he goes.
Yep.
Oh, Michael Gray just got the job done. He thought, right, I've had enough patience to last me a lifetime, and thought, right, okay, let's just see if I can chance it. So, yeah,
Berry runs in. Look, he goes wide as well. Sorry to cut you off, but he goes wide, gets the slide, and then he knows he's offline. He tried as best as he can there to hold on, but as soon as this happened, where he ended up going wide here, hitting that grass, puts him out, slides, he knows Gray's got the inside line. He had to make sure he he had to be perfect. He had to be Senna, Prost, Schumacher, Verstappen-esque for this whole race. And that one mistake is going to cost him that position. What a shame. Teed him up there. He did tee him up. Sent him in deep into Druids. And then, unfortunately, that was the situation.
But what Michael Gray can't do in that Corvette is go off track. Because now, the impetus, as you can see, Sam Berry flashing the lights again. What he's got to do now is just follow Michael Gray. Because Michael Gray, we've seen how quick he has been around this circuit. He's the second fastest driver in this race so far. Jared Love, fastest lap of the race, 1:21.294. Michael Gray's fastest lap in the Corvette so far this race, a 1:21.453. So what they've now got to start doing, because we are at the 20-minute mark, completed of this race, 25 minutes to go, and it will be a case of seeing when our drivers come through for their enforced pit stop. I wouldn't say mandatory, enforced pit stop, because everyone can start with a maximum allocation, 50% of the fuel capacity in this race. So Connor also saying, hoping Paul can hold on to that P3 in the AMS. So Paul West, who's 6.5 seconds ahead of Chris Haynes in Rexy. Meantime, there has been a little bit of a change. Look at this, the Haribo Mustang versus the Clark St. James BMW. Donnelly versus Reed. Oh, that got a bit close. Heading into Westfield. They both go a little bit off the circuit. And...
oh, no. Oh, no, no, no.
Do not do that. Oh, Donnelly on the grass. Manages to keep a hold of it. And but unfortunately, yeah, it was just a case of just the amount of pressure that Tim Reed was putting onto Stephen Donnelly. It was a fait accompli. It was going to happen whether Donnelly in the Haribo Mustang liked it or not. We haven't got his teammate Joe Sparrow with us here tonight, so Joe must be otherwise engaged. And Connor just saying, no, Paul Thompson is the one who said, "I'm trying, mate," and Connor's just gone. It's Paul West we're talking about, not Paul Thompson. So hence the laugh out loud emojis from Connor Pink just a second ago. But Donnelly is not going to let this one go without a fight. He wants that 6th place back. There's Daniel Paul and Mike Walters, the two leaders in the AM classification, not too far behind. Whilst these two are battling, that gap is coming down.
Yeah, it is. Sean Clark and Chris Haynes still having a nice little ding-dong. Don't do that. Not going to make it out there, mate. I'll tell you that much. A little bit of gravel that you can go and hit there as well. On board with Stephen Donnelly now through the right-hander of Westfield, dropping down into Dingledale. The point, shoot and aim for the best tree at Sheens here. Through the right-hander, Donnelly still locking it in. Into the left-hander of Sterling's. Look for the dip on the inside. It's just about there. There he is. Let it run out on the curb, Alex. And that is basically how he's got to try and stay close to that BMW.
Yeah, now they go through into Clark Curve, 3rd gear, 90 miles an hour. Start accelerating, and they're both going to try and keep as close as they can. Well, they're both going to go centrally down the start-finish straight, the Raven straight here at Brands Hatch into Paddock Hill Bend. So you've got to really know how to tackle to what a lot of drivers is considered the best corner in motorsport. A lot of the drivers from when I was a DTM journalist back in the early 2010s, I had Timo Glock, Rob Wickens, Christian Vittoris, Lucas Auer, the nephew of Gerhard Berger. They all went. Even Timo Scheider, the man who picked up 2 titles in 2008 and 2009, and said, "What's your favourite, corner on the calendar?" And they went Brands Hatch, Paddock Hill Bend, because they love the compression aspects of it. And it's one of the most challenging corners. It's a bit like a Rougier Hadion in its own right. But there's so many different nuances here at Brands Hatch that you can either get it completely right and it's really, really satisfying to do, or you can get it completely wrong and you end up in the barriers and going, that was a bit of a silly mistake to make, wasn't it?
Been there. Been there. In the barriers. Been there. So that would not surprise me whatsoever. People have gone and hit that because I think at any one point anybody that's driven Brands Hatch has been there as well. So, yeah, I think that's natural progression where you realise it's not quite how you take Paddock Hill. So, you have to be a little bit more careful on that one. But John McLuhan is having a nice little bit of a ding-dong here with Rob Mackay up in 10th and 11th. Craig Corish and Walters is getting close together, and Michael Gray and I don't believe that's Sam Berry actually. He's chased back onto the back now of Harry Hartley-Price. So it's Hartley-Price's turn to defend. I feel like we need Jaws music for Michael Gray. You know what I mean? I feel like
yeah.
I
feel like that. Sudden, yeah, I know. And then all of a sudden, Roy Schneider comes into shot. Right.
That would be funny. Or a Plastic Shark.
Yeah, from Plastic Shark. But all I could say is Michael Gray is 20 minutes away from possibly completing the good old Top Gear from the rear, but he's going to dive into pit lane with 20 minutes to go. So this will now dictate how drivers are going to respond. Jared Love is 9 seconds ahead of Harry Hartley-Price, so the gap between the Mustang and the Porsche is ever increasing. Ben Altry is going to carry on for another lap at least. So what about, Sam Berry dives in, Reed and Donnelly carry on. Daniel Paul, who's going to be the leading AM class car, what's he going to do? He's going to stay out for another lap. So is Mike Walters. So let's see who else is going to dive in. John McLuhan is going to dive away from the battle with Rob McKee. Here's Paul West, third in the AMs, and the Monster Energy number 33 McLaren, running P3 in the class. So he's going to end up in 10th position. Michael Gray's pit stop was 14.4 seconds. Ben Altria, what's happened here? That is going to be at Graham Hill Bend on his own. Oh. Check your underwear after that one, mate.
Absolutely. Same thing. But Stephen Donnelly and Tim Reed, this is going to be an interesting one. See what goes on as well. Sam lost the back end and spun. Sam Berry.
Oh, he's all the way down in 12th.
Did.
Uh-oh.
You home yet, James?
Well, this is coming out of Surtees. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's tagged the barrier with the left rear as well.
Yeah, a little bit of donk on the left rear there as well. Sergio, where am I going? You home yet, James? Who are you talking? Your lead is getting small, James. I think, Sergio, you've had far too many. Go back to the wall.
He's probably on his 6th cerveza, and we don't know. Yeah. I don't know what the Egyptian for beer is.
I don't know. I don't even know. Just there as well. Just got off the boat. There's JD and Jimmy.
That's probably who he's talking to then.
Oh, okay, good. I thought I was like confused. I didn't even know who. I didn't see Jimmy come in. He did come in further in. Yo! Hey guys. Hey Jim. Oh yeah. Take care, dude. What boat? Where did you come from?
There are a lot of people making their way back from Spa in the 24 hours. Who knows? Or there's some people that if he's been over at Mondello Park because they've just had Drift Masters this past weekend in Ireland.
Maybe.
But Jared Love is now finally in pit lane on lap number 20 this race. So Michael Gray, his pit stop was a 14.4. Sam Berry, his pit stop was on the same lap as Michael Gray, 15.28. Then, of course, having that whoopsie-daisy spin, which is not what you want. Harry Hartley-Price now pits. So what's going to happen with Ben Altria in the pit lane? Will Tim Reed follow? If that is the case, yes, it is. This is going to be very, very close indeed. Jared Love coming out of pit lane. Michael Gray, this is going to put him second.
Yeah.
So now the chase is on. But if Michael Gray wants to try and do that through the kitty litter at Paddock Hill Bend, he's going to lose a lot of time to the Mustang of Jared Love, who pretty much has been commanding proceedings. It's just that Michael Gray decided, I'm going to start from the back end of the grid, boys. Don't mind me. I just fancy a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, why not?
There we go. I was right. There we go. Thank you, Sergio. He's been to Drift Masters at Mondello Park. Yeah, because I've actually quite recently subscribed to the Drift Games crew with Dave Egan, who's one of the people behind Drift Games, and Mondello Park is their local. So there you go. It's I do love things on four wheels, even if they are going round a circuit or if they are going sideways, folks. So there you go.
Yeah, why not? Might as well enjoy it. No matter what
Exactly.
form of motorsport you're doing, dude. As long as you're enjoying it. I'm off. Hey, I'm off blinking Santa Pod this weekend for my son who's going to drive down a straight line. So, you know.
Yeah. Oh, he's back in the saddle for the first time since what happened.
Yep. So he'll be back. Yeah, this weekend coming. So I'm away from Thursday.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Summer Nationals. God.
Yeah, if I ever get the chance to pop up there when he's got a race, I'll try and make sure I do so.
Lovely.
Besides, then at least to be nice to be a spectator than commentating on stuff.
Yeah.
But we are having a few changes as well. Sean Clark in the pit lane, Paul West in the pit lane, which is now promoted. Mr. Daxon friend, Joseph Lopez to the leader of the AMs, but he's had 2 trips in the pit lane. But is he going to have enough to keep that car on track for another 14 minutes and 45 seconds? That is the big question.
A lot here. Mark's down 5th in class, West in 4th in class, then Paul, then Walters, and then Lopez. Lopez is up 7. Just cleared Tim Reed. That's partly due to the fact you can see Reed is facing the way.
Well, he did a Sam Berry into Surtees, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He's going to go round before he even gets halfway through, and unfortunately he's stuck there. So, yeah, poor old Mr. Tim Reed has gone down. Wow, what a call from Gray up to P2. Absolutely. No, he done a great job. And come on, Paul. I should stop cheering for Connor. Everybody cheered for it, but at some point, gonna crack.
Take it easy on the bloke.
I mean, stop feeding our job.
Meantime, Sam Berry to the outside of Ben Altria, heading into Paddock Hill Bend down the Brabham Straight. Oh, don't do that, Sam. Don't try and clip the grass going around the outside, but he might get a move. He's not going to. Connor's just apologised. He's gone, sorry. It's like what was it? The comedy with Ronnie Corbett. Oh dear, that was Tim Walters in the Porsche doing Porsche things there at Graham Hill Bend. Yeah, Joseph Lopez has come into the pits for his actual stop, so this is not going to be good on the white lines. Back end, that's very much the same as what we saw with Altria earlier on.
And it all stems from here. Look, I'll give you, no, that's not what I want. Where are you? It all stems from here. Because basically what happens is, watch that rear left. So the rear left goes and bounces the curb. So as soon as he hits the throttle, he's already unsettled. The car's unbalanced. And as soon as he's trying to apply the throttle, he's only got one wheel. And unfortunately, that one rear wheel ain't going to put him in the right direction. So he's got to try and stay off that curb if he can.
Meantime, we've still got the battle for... Sam Berry getting very, very creative coming out of... Clark Curve, 2 wheels on the grass, up the inside he goes. This is very, very close indeed. However, developments at the front end of the field. Michael Gray has just recently put in what would have been if it was on track, if track limits hadn't been circumvented. He's just, he would have been, no, he wouldn't have been. Sorry, my apologies there. Craig Gorish now back into the pits. Peter Duke, he's been in there since lap 7, so Peter's not taking any further participation. But Jared Love has got a lead of about 2.9 seconds over Michael Gray. And on the last lap, Love was 0.4 of a second quicker, based on the, I would say, the straight line speed of the Mustang in comparison with the Corvette, as Berry still trying to put the frighteners on Ben Altria as they go through into Sheen Curve. And then into Sterling's. Hard on the brakes, down into 3rd gear. This is getting to be rather fruity, this battle between these two. 0.2 of a second apart as they go through clearways into Clark Curve. Now, how creative is Sam Berry going to be this time? Not as creative as he was on the previous lap, but still... keeping Altria very, very honest here in the battle for P4 overall here, JP.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam's just tucked in at the moment. He's got Altria in front. Altria's trying to escape. The problem is the Mustang has got quite a lot of gruff to keep up with that Acura. So unfortunately for him, he's going to have to try and do something fancy. Well, the only thing this man's managed to do that's fancy is show us how not to go on the racetrack correctly. As he's just going to go round again, I feel, for Mr. Tim Walters. And that's coming into Surtees. That back end's coming round already. Goes and off, unfortunately, for Mr. Walters. Now, I can tell you under the new tyre model, he's got an opportunity of cooling the tyres down, but he's got to go easy. Not going to love him if they are at the moment. So for Mr. Walters, settle it down, dear sir. Don't be doing silly things with the tyres, and they won't do silly things with you.
Yeah. Moment there for Altria. Berry is going to get through. Berry took complete advantage of that. Ben Altria opened both doors of the barn open and said, "There you go, Sam. After you, sir. Thank you very much," said Mr. Fresh Rubber, and he got the job done. But Altria is not going to let him get away with that one. But Altria, at that point, we've seen Ben running in the Audi, I think, this season, haven't we? So.
Oh, he's been in the Acura all season, I think, mate.
Oh, he's been in. Oh no, it was Glenn Abelard. My apologies, there. It was in the Audi earlier on this season. But yeah, it has been a pretty good battle between these two. Like literally, yeah. If one makes a mistake, the other one's going to capitalise it, and it's all like like the Chuckle Brothers running gag you and I have, like to me, to you, to me, to you. Here we go again down the Cooper Straight.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that Altria just goes up the inside this time. So Ben Altria has just gone up the inside. Sam Berry's coming back. He went up the inside and then made an error. So these two swapping backwards and forwards there. And I do want to see what happened to Ben. A little bit weird. He got inside line, didn't he? Well, did he run it in deep? That's going to be the question, and get it all a little bit wrong. There's the entry. Yeah, you'd run it in, hit the gravel on the outside of the grass. That allowed Sam Berry back through. But yeah, these guys are going to keep fighting to the end, I think. One of the closest battles.
Yeah, meantime, the battle between the two leaders has been closing. 2.2 seconds is now the gap between Jared Love and Michael Gray. Jared Love looking for his first win. And if Michael Gray gets this one, I think it's basically going to put the title out of reach for the Pro Class. Because if he does win it, that'll put him on 230 points. And at the minute, well, I mean, looking at it from this perspective, Jared Love, that would put him, yeah, that would put him probably into the top 10. Then you'll have Harry Hartley-Price will be, if he's P3, that'll put him ahead of Matt Hoyland. But it will be more than enough for Michael Gray to provisionally secure the Season 7 Pro title, even if he finishes where he is now. Because, like, Hoyland's not here, Gaylor's not here, McLuhan spun out early in the race, is back up to 6th. But I think even with the fact that Michael will have a 0 for his drop score, and that will be round 5 at Spa, back on the 16th of June, he's done everything right. And I think he just wanted to give him, as I said, wanted to give himself a little bit of a challenge in the latter part of the season before we go to Fuji, where we'll pretty much have the Pro title wrapped up, but the AM title will still be up for grabs.
You reckon that's it?
I think that's it. Because that'll put him a big amount of, and even with Harry Hartley-Price, that puts, if he finishes P3, that'll put him on 168. Now a victory is going to be 40 points. We still have Fuji to go. And I think really that, I think Gray might provisionally be confirmed after tonight that he's taken the title. But we'll have to wait and see, because I mean, it kind of reminds me of the was it Luis Martinez that we had last season in Season 6 that was dominant but missed out on the final race because of internet issues or something, or he had a technical issue. But Michael has just been on a very, very different level. I mean, he's on 190 points now. So let's just look at it from this perspective. I'm going to do some maths, but using a calculator, folks. So,
how long has everybody got?
How long's a piece of string? I mean, even if he picks up 34 points for a win, that'll put him on 224. And if Harry Hartley-Price finishes P3, that is going to put him on 168.
Okay.
That's 56 points advantage going into the final round of the season.
Yeah.
So, who knows? But the thing is, Michael Gray has just done a 131. Oh, look at all that kitty litter that's just been thrown up from... It sounds like someone's just had a really bad night in the town. Yeah, someone's just thrown that up, you know, all that kitty litter on the circuit. But I think it's been the case that Michael's done everything he's needed to do. And this will just... I hate to say it, I think this might have provisionally put the final nail in the coffin for the pro title. We're going to see what happened to Michael that made it go from a 2.2 second gap. There we go. It's out of Druids. That time model's still catching people out.
It didn't. He had plenty of time. That was the thing. Even, you know, even losing time, he still stayed in front of Harry Hartley-Price there. So Jared Love should effectively, with 4.5 minutes to go, wrap this one up. Harry Hartley-Price can see Michael Gray, but it's down to Michael Gray here whether or not he's going to be able to keep the car on the racetrack. So, but he did, as I say, made a mistake there as well with less than 5 minutes to go.
Interesting enough, though, Mike Walters could be on course, touch wood, for Son of a Bro Racing to pick up a second victory this season.
Oh,
as
no,
there's Tim Walters. There's Tim. That's off of Surtees. So this is going to be... let's have a look. Tim... Oh, I don't... Oh. He's taken the Joker lap through Paddock Hill Bend onto the kitty litter.
He ended up where he ended.
Yeah, well, that's probably... I think that was Surtees that he'd...
Yeah, he went off a few more times round here.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be...
After
to
this,
see how he... Yeah, it's going to be Surtees that he went off. So... Yeah. Here we go. Turn it in. No, it wasn't. Unless it was a little bit further around the circuit, but never mind.
Not sure on that one, but Jared Love, 6.5 seconds to go.
Yep. So, yeah, and Jared's just put in a 125.1. Michael Gray, 121.6. But I think, I think this man has wrapped... I think he might have pretty much wrapped up the pro title with 1 round to go, to be honest with you. And that is, in its own right, a pretty standout effort, wouldn't you agree?
I do agree. Been unstoppable. He has literally been unstoppable. And that's the thing. You know, I don't think we've ever seen somebody quite be as strong as he's been. You know, he took a win as well when we started off the season. He won Sebring at the same time. He won Imola here as well. You know, it's just been absolutely mental, isn't it? Oh, not Imola, it was Mugello we went, didn't we? Damn it now.
We went Sebring, Imola, Monza, Nürburgring.
Yeah, he took
the then his win streak came to an end abruptly by first run through Le Combe at Spa at round 5 a couple of weeks ago, and then Daytona. You know, he's
had
the guy is
4 wins, bro. You know what I mean? He ain't no slouch.
Yeah, 4 wins. So yeah, the wins that he's had, it was he won at Sebring, won at Imola, finished 3rd Monza, won at Nürburgring, and then won last time out at Daytona. So that's going to be 5 wins, 1/3, and a DNF.
That's what I mean. It's not, you know, not a rubbish season by anybody's standard.
No, indeed. As we're coming down to the final 60 seconds of this race, Jared Love about 70% of the way through lap 32, so we should have 33 completed laps of the 2.433 mile 9-turn circuit here at Brands Hatch. We'll be heading over to Fuji International Speedway in the Mie Prefecture in Japan next week, which will have a 1.5 kilometer long straight from turn 16 to turn 1. And then we'll really see who's got the rocket ship in the GT3 classifications as we head on to our 33rd and final lap. And it's the man here, Jared Love, in the number 10 DC Motorsport Mustang. He's not put a foot wrong, and he's done exactly what he's needed to do. He's been close to an overall victory. He's the outgoing AM champion from season 6, but more to the point, he's done exactly what he needed to do. Michael Gray now making his way through into Surtees for the final time. Timer hits 0 here in the Garden of England, and it's this man here, the Flying Scotsman, Jared Love, who finally will pick up a win, proudly representing the Soul tyre. As you can see on the rear wing end plates on his trusty steed, the Mustang, that he's now using for the second season that he's taken part in the Galebest and Clark St. James GT3 Championship. But it's out of Sterling's for the final time. Just a couple of more meters to go. And, well, the man from north of the border, Jared Love, comes out of Clark Curve, powers down the Brabham Straight, and it's a new winner here in Season 7. Jared Love dominates proceedings here at Brands Hatch. And with that, well, oh, hang on a second, Michael Gray, what's happened to him? Did he just get a drop? Well, let's just, yeah, that's quite weird, because even with third place, I think he might have provisionally wrapped things up for season 7 for the pro side of things. But it's going to mean that Harry Hartley-Price is going to take P2 in the Porsche. Yes, I think it was Michael Gray had an enforced drive-through possibly. But he still came across the line from 18th on the grid to take the victory overall. And we've just got a little bit of a slight wait for Son of a Bro Racing. It's going to be 2 wins this season for Mike Walters of the 84 Acura. Well, would you believe it? He started 11th on the grid. He finishes P7, takes his second win of the campaign. Well done to that man there. Rob McKee finishes in 8th. Daniel Paul takes 2nd in the AM class, and it's going to be the Monster Energy Racing 33 McLaren of Paul West rounding out the top 10. Sean Clark, oh, well, it could have been a different story for the man from Clark St. James in the McLaren. He's going to come across the line, finish P11 ahead of Joseph Lopez. Chris Haynes in Rexy and Tim Walters rounding out the top 14. But my, oh my, what a race we've had here tonight, JP. Jared Love takes his first win. It's 2 wins this season for Son of a Bro Racing's Mike Walters. I'm really happy for Mike there. I really, really am.
Yeah, it's been great to see, as well. And Mike Walters doing a stunning job for that Son of a Bro. Jared Love taking his first victory this season as well. So he's going to be feeling like $1 million there. So an absolute stunning run from Jared Love and some great racing all the way through. Been thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah, well, funny enough, let's bring him in, shall we? Because he finally has done it. Let's bring him in. DC Motorsports Jared Love from pole position to victory finally, Jared. You got that overall win at last.
Yeah, that was good fun. Well, I'm very, very warm. The heat wave that's going on.
Aren't we all?
That was brilliant. I love that track, and it just felt brilliant in the Mustang. And yeah, I had a good pace. I got the pole, and then just a shame that Peter had the wee accident on turn 1 because I was hoping to get a DC Motorsport 1-2 there.
Yeah, it was double disaster, unfortunately, for Pete, because he didn't really recover. He got the car back into pit lane on lap 7, and then went off once. Then it was second time was off at Clark Curve and managed to rearrange not just the back end of it, but also the rear wing, and didn't come out after that. But still, we've got one more round to go. We've got Fuji next week. I think the horses on the pony car might give you a little bit of an advantage down that start-finish straight, wouldn't you say? 1.5 kilometres.
Yes, yeah, hopefully. I've only raced it once when we ran it in Tanso 3 seasons ago. I think it was my first race, and it didn't go well. I think I was second last out of about 25 people. It didn't go well, so I've improved since then. So I'm looking forward to seeing how much quicker I am and how much more competitive I'll be around the track.
Brilliant. Well, well done for the lights out to checkered flag victory here at Brands Hatch. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go, buddy?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for doing the casting every week. Broadcasts are fantastic. I love going back and watching them and seeing if any of the incidents I get involved in sometimes have been caught on camera. Shout out to my wife. She gives me a bit of time during the week to get some practice in, which helps me be a bit competitive. And shout out to my mate Paul, who is watching live stream as well. He watched at Le Mans last season as well, and I seem to be quite quick there, so I think he might be a good luck champ.
Yeah, he's here as well, by the way.
Brilliant, Jared. Well done, buddy. And we'll see you next week for the season finale at Fuji International Speedway.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Big thank you there to Jared Love from DC Motorsports. Let's bring this man in. He's done it again. Son of a Row Racing's Mike Walters back to victory lane. Mike, where has this come from, buddy? I mean, like we were wondering. I think what was it? It was it was Nürburgring.
Nürburgring
3 weeks ago, and 3 weeks later at Brands Hatch, you do it again. Was there a little bit of lady luck on your side? Because I think a couple of your Ram competitors did have a bit of trouble, including our good friend Mr. Sean Clark.
Yeah, I obviously I don't know what happened. I was just focusing on my race. I haven't seen anything. I just knew that Sean was super fast in practice, and he qualified P1 in AM, and I take it really easy for the first several laps. I just let people pass me. I just don't want to spin, and I knew he was way ahead of me, and then I saw him off the side of the track, and I don't know what happened. And then I still figured I was down, a ways in AM, and I was chasing Daniel Poole, but I wasn't gaining on him. And then something happened, and I got past him, and then I stayed ahead of him coming out of the pits, even though I turned off my ignition instead of my pit limiter when I got out of the pits. Yeah, I was like, what's going on? And then he just dropped back, and I thought, what if I'm actually first? So then I just tried not to let the pressure get to me, because I don't deal with pressure well. So it works best for me when there's no one around me.
Well, congratulations once again, buddy. That's given you a big haul of points. That's going to really put you. I mean, that with a win, that puts you okay. You're on 147 at the moment. It puts you 187 going into the final round of the season, because obviously no James, no Sergio. James is in Ireland. Sergio's in Egypt, living it up with a few beers. Cheers, Sergio. Hope you don't have too much of a sore head in the morning. But of course, we've got Fuji next week. Japanese soil might help the Acura a little bit, couldn't it?
I actually won't be there. I didn't even buy the track because I knew coming into the season that I would be gone on vacation that day, so I won't be at Fuji. So that's my drop round.
Well, that's a real shame. But Mike, thank you so much for taking part in this season. Before we let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Well, like always, you guys, of course, these are great broadcasts. Just wouldn't be the same. Sean for putting it on, and Sean's improvement too. He's going to have to move himself up to pro if he's not careful. And my brother Tim for helping me focus and practice and stuff.
Brilliant, Mike. Enjoy your vacation. We'll hopefully see you for season 8 of the championship when that gets going up and running very soon.
All right, thanks, Alex.
So big thank you there to our AM class winner. 2 out of the 7 races so far. You have to say, Mike Walters, the son of a Pro Racing, JP, has done an absolutely mega job this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's been absolutely amazing. You watch people's progression over a season, and you sit back and you go, "Oh, I feel like a proud dad," even though you've got nothing to do with it. but you just watch them grow and grow and grow, you know, and it's been great to see. Mike has done a great job. Daniel Pool's another one. It's been awesome. So, yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, that wraps up live coverage of the penultimate round of Season 7 for the Galebest and Clark St. James GT3 Championship. Join us, same place, same time, next week when we go for 45 minutes at the iconic foothills of Mount Fuji, Fuji International Speedway. You've been in the company of myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and James Parfitt. This has been a JP Broadcasting Network production. And as always, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, you better go flat out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Good night for now.
Jungle.